My name is Austin Zelan, and I'm going to show you guys the 5 misconceptions people have about creating passive income. Number 1 is that you have to hire a financial advisor. Many years ago, that might have been true, but with the access that technology provides to us today, we no longer have to hire financial advisors. We can literally execute the exact same trades and the exact same investment opportunities on our own. In fact, most of the times we could literally do it from our iPhones. It really opens up the world of opportunity and many possibilities for us as consumers, so that we no longer have to pick up the phone, call our broker on Wall Street and try to get some sort of trade or some deal placed. We could literally do it from the comfort of our home, maybe even laying in bed just scrolling on our iPhone. It's truly revolutionized the investment world, and because it is so easy to access all of these different tools, it's our job to get educated on how to do it correctly. The one benefit that a financial advisor provides is that they have the education, they have all the facts and figures that they can base their decisions on. But with today's access to the internet, many sources online that will give you all of this information for free, we can make our own educated decisions and we can create opportunities for ourselves without the help of a financial advisor. The second misconception that people have is that you have to have a lot of money. This is so not true. There are so many people that come into this industry with very little money that they have to invest and begin to create opportunities for themselves. There are opportunities that you can get in with as little as a couple $100 or maybe even just a few $1,000s that you have saved up. I know people who have maybe been gifted a nice watch, maybe a Rolex, and they sell that watch and use that money to reinvest it and create investment opportunities for themselves. Other people, they come in and they begin to obtain lines of credit, whether that's actual business lines of credit or maybe just business credit cards. They're able to access all those funds and then use them for investments. So people can come in with literally no cash to invest, get access to hundreds of thousands of dollars in business credit at 0% interest, and then use that credit to then invest into passive income opportunities. I've seen people go from broke to creating 6 figures in passive income simply by doing this process. They get their credit, they invest into opportunities, and they scale it to 6 figures. Most of the time, they can do it within 12 months. The third misconception is that you have to have great credit. So dovetailing off of my last point, many people, they just go out and they get credit cards. Now, to get credit cards, it doesn't mean that you have to have the most amazing credit in the world. I've seen people come in with 650, 680 credit scores, and with just a little bit of cleaning, we're able to get that up just high enough to where they're able to get as much credit as they need for these different investment opportunities. When they have their credit up to a certain level, they're able to just start an LLC and they begin following our proven process where they go to banks systematically, and based on whatever bureaus that bank reports to, they can reach out, get credit for their LLC, and eventually even raise those limits higher and higher and higher as they show a proper repayment history. Over time, you can scale these credit cards to give you hundreds of thousands of dollars that you can use for your investments. And the best part about it is that you could come in with no money and now all of a sudden you have access to all of this capital. I've seen people partner up with others. They use investor capital for investment opportunities. And most of all, I think the best way to do all of this is to start a fund. That's obviously more advanced, but the easiest way to get started is going to be through credit. Credit is easy to access. You don't need to have a stellar credit score. You could start off pretty rough and eventually just bump it up just enough to get access to credit, and then use that credit to kickstart your journey. Once you've started down that journey, you're now gonna have enough financials and enough liquidity so that banks are gonna be like, okay, this guy's clearly doing something right. He has money flowing in and out of the accounts. He's clearly showing good returns. Let's lend him some more money. And after several months, you can eventually scale that to where they're giving you tens of thousands of dollars, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars from each bank. And the best part about it is that this is not equity financing. The bank isn't going to be asking for equity in your company. They're basically just going to give you this money and they want debt servicing. So when you have all this debt with them, all they want to see is that you're making your monthly payments on time. Monthly payments are not that high. They're usually maybe about 1 or 2% of the balance. And truthfully, in order to make your payments, you just have to make 1% profit a month. and eventually that's getting repaid and you're making that money in your investment. So oftentimes people will get these loans, they'll get these credit cards, and even if they're paying 1% a month, they'll find an investment that's paying them maybe 2 or 3% a month, and they'll collect that spread. So they're giving 1% back to the bank and they'll collect 2 or 3% into their own pockets. And that creates passive income for them. The fourth misconception is that you can only make 5 to 10% returns annually. This used to be true back in the day when everybody was investing in the S&P 500. The S&P 500 is basically an index that measures the performance of the top 500 companies in the United States. It measures their stock performance and gives you one value that you can then invest into. And the key performance of the S&P 500 is typically right around 7 or 8% per year. So if you hear somebody say, hey, I beat the market, they're just saying that they beat the performance of the S&P 500. So typically maybe they made 9 or 10%, right? 9 or 10% still technically beats what the market did overall. So by holding S&P 500, you would have made 8%, but with this investment, you might have made 10%. So that's the traditional way that investors have viewed the investment space. With the way it's developed today, we're seeing returns upwards of 20, 30, 50, even 100%. Now, we're not investing into the S&P 500, and we're usually not investing into single stocks. What we are investing into is called alternative assets. When we invest into alternative assets, we can put all that credit that we just got, we put it to use, and we begin seeing returns of 20, 30, 50%. I've seen people replace their 9-to-5 incomes. I've seen people replace salary jobs like this. It only takes a couple of these investments to be set up in order to give you that time freedom and that financial freedom that you need for your life. The fifth misconception is that you have to have a degree in finance. This is not true because there are so many people in the financial and the investment space that literally dropped out of high school. Now, I personally love the educational side of it. I personally went and got the master's degree. I'm working on my PhD right now. I love the educational side of it because it gives me new frames of thought. The benefit that I see from education is basically being able to analyze problems from different frames of thought. So if I was in a science class, I learned how to problem solve in the science way. If I was in a math class, I learned how to problem solve in a mathematical way. If I was in a history class, well, I got to learn how people solve problems in history. So now I have all these different ways to solve problems in the real world where maybe I don't really need to know the Pythagorean theorem in order to make passive income. However, I know how to problem solve in a mathematical way, and so when I'm approached with some sort of investment opportunity, I can think through it logically, I can analyze it scientifically, mathematically, historically, whatever it is. You do not need that education in order to create a passive income portfolio, but it can help you in some cases. And unless you're looking to get a job on Wall Street, the truth is nobody's gonna ask what kind of degrees you have, whether you have an MBA, whether you have a finance degree. There are only two things in the world that create successful investors: access to capital and access to investment opportunities. If you can find access to capital yourself, great. If not, reach out to somebody that can help you. If you can get access to investment opportunities that perform consistently, great. If not, reach out to somebody who can help you. I personally have created a community of investors where we share investment opportunities with each other, we educate each other on different things that are going on in our worlds, and give each other the opportunity to access these investment opportunities. Guys, thank you so much for joining me today. I can't wait to see you on the next video. Please make sure you like, subscribe, and comment below, and I'll see you on the next one.